everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this little tiny gift box amigurumi ornament. It is super simple to make. This will be a quick tutorial, but I am doing 12 ornaments in the month of December this 2017 year. So I want to show you this first. This is our first our ornament that we're going to make in this series, and it's the little gift box, and then you can tie some ribbon or some yarn on the back and hang it on the tree this year. So I'll get into the supplies we need and then get into some other information, and then we'll get into making this cute little gift box. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn today. This is Red Heart Super Saver yarn. I'm using 2 colors in this little gift box. You can use as many colors as you want, really, but 2 colors is a good match here. We're doing green and red. So I have patty green for the tie color, the bow tie color, and then just a cherry red in the main color, and you literally only need scraps of this yarn. I won't even have yardage or anything. The size hook we're going to use is an F hook, which is 3.75 millimeters, and this super fancy hook I'm going to use in all the tutorials. This one is from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. It is super fancy. You can use it like this or like a pen. A lot of you used your crochet hooks like a pen, like this, and that's awesome. And I crochet like this, like holding like a knife. So you can hold this any which way you want, and you can get this at the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. I will put a link in the description of this video where you can get these, because they're hand-carved ergonomic hooks, and they're great for the holidays and for anybody who loves to crochet. Also, you're going to need a scissors and a yarn needle to sew in your ends, cut some yarn, and all that good stuff. So those are the supplies we need today. So now we can just get right into making this, but before we begin, there are links in the description of this video, link to get this, link to get this yarn, and link to my blog and Facebook and Instagram, so make sure you follow me on there. So I'm just going to set this aside and we can get right into it. It's so simple. So I'm going to grab my red yarn. This is my main color. You can use any color you want for your main color. And we're going to start off with a slip knot here. So let's put your short end over your long end, then fold this down, and then pull your long end through. Just like that. There's your slip knot. Then insert your hook, and we can start. Pull that a little tighter. Alright, for this tutorial we need to start off by chaining 11. So yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Here's 1. Yarn over, pull through. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And I was thinking, when I said 11, I was thinking of that movie, or that show, Stranger Things. 11. Anyway, going on to round 1, we're going to work in continuous rounds here. In the second chain from the hook, we are going to single crochet. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as anything. So count 1 and 2 right in here. And what I'm going to do is turn the chain toward me. And you can see these back ridges here. I'm going to work into those back ridges. So in the second chain right there, I'm going to insert my hook. Okay, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through both of the loops on the hook. That is a single crochet. So we're going to do that in each chain across here. So go into this next chain here, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, next chain, just single crochet. I'm going to meet you up when I get to the very last chain, because in the very last chain we're actually going to put 3 single crochets in there. So I'll single crochet in each one of these chains, and then I'll meet you up when I'm to the end of this row. Alright, when you have 1 chain left, we're going to put 3 single crochets in there. So there's 1, here's 2, whoopsie, 2, there we go, and 3. And you can see I'm kind of turning this now, going like this way. Okay, so we kind of just flipped this over, and there's our foundation row right here. We're going to now work across this foundation row to get back to the beginning here. So we don't have to work in this spot right here, because we just put 3 stitches all in this stitch right here where our slip knot is right here. So we're going to go into this very next one right here. okay? And we're just going to single crochet in there. So go into this next stitch, right there. Then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Just like that. So we have those 3 single crochets in that end there, and then we're just going to single crochet across this bottom here. I'm going to go a little bit faster for the camera. We're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of these, and then you can continue watching, because when we get to the very last stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochets in there. So at the end of round 1, we are going to have 22 stitches around. So here's 1 stitch. Alright, so I'm at my very last stitch right here. We are going to put 2 single crochets in there. And there's already 1 worked in there. As you can see, our very first stitch is worked in there. So we're going to have 3 stitches in this first part here, and 3 stitches in this other end here. And then 1 single crochet on each side of our foundation chain. Okay, so that's what that should look like. Now, what I need you to do is put a stitch marker into this spot right here to mark your rounds, because we are working in continuous rounds. I just have a little scrap of yarn here of a different color that's just going to mark my rounds. If you have a legit stitch marker, you can just put that in there, and that's fine. And we are also going to be working in the back loops only. So usually we work in both loops of our work. Right here's both loops, here's both loops, here's both loops. What we're going to do, this loop that's furthest away from you up top here, this is the back loop. So we are going to insert our hook right in here, okay, and work around this loop only. That's the back loop only for this pattern, for this whole part here. We're working in the back loops only. So what we're going to do now for round 2 through 9, we are going to just put 1 single crochet in the back loop of every stitch around. Okay, no more increasing. You know, I put the 3 single crochets in each end, but no more of that. Just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. That way the sides will start to fold upward like that, and it will kind of make your shape of your gift box. So I'm just going to get around here. You can continue watching me until I get past this little turn here. We're just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so you will have 22 single crochets for every round. That's rounds 2 through 9. Okay, so you see here I'm at this side now. I'm not going to increase. I'm just putting 1 single crochet in each of these stitches in the back loops only. Now if you want to work in both loops, that's totally fine as well. You can work in both loops, but I'm just going to work in the back loops only, and just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And if you want to make this a taller gift box, you can continue on doing more than 9 rounds, but I am going to, or more than the round 9, I am going to do rounds 2 through 9, just single crocheting in each stitch, and when I finish round 9, I'll meet you up and we'll go on to the next step. Alright, so I just finished round 9 here. You can see I did rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then I'm just finishing off here. We're going to fasten off by slip stitching into this next stitch. You can go under both loops of this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. Okay, then to fasten off, we're going to chain 1. We're going to cut our yarn long for sewing. We're going to sew up that top there. So I'm just going to cut my yarn longer and then pull that all the way through that chain 1 and pull it tight. You can remove your stitch marker if you have one. And this is what it should look like, just a little pouch right now. If you want to, you can leave it flat, okay, flatten it up and then sew this top closed. Or if you have some stuffing, I know I didn't mention that earlier, but if you have some stuffing, I have some polyfill here, we can just stuff this thing and then we can sew it up. Okay, and that way it'll be like a little gift pillow. So let me get a little bit more stuffing here. Oh, there we go. Alright, so now what we're going to do is sew this up. Okay, so it looks like a little pillow. So we're just going to take our yarn needle and we're going to yarn our needle with that long strand that we cut there. And then we're going to, you can either whip stitch this or mattress stitch this. I'm going to mattress stitch this in the back loops here. So this loop is considered a back loop even though it is closer to you, but if you're looking at it from the outside, that's the back loop there, okay? So we're going to work from the inside out. So I'm going to go from the inside out to this one right here and pull. Then we're going to go to the opposite side, corresponding stitch right here, and we're going to go under that loop right there. Okay, and then pull. And then the very next stitch on this side in that back loop, corresponding stitch right there, pull. Then go across from the inside out of this stitch here and pull. Okay, so I'm just going to do this all the way across, just coordinating the stitches and going through from the inside out, from the inside out, and just continue doing that all the way across until this is completely stitched closed. And if you want to add a little bit more stuffing, you can, or if you didn't add any stuffing, you can just keep it flat. But I'm just going to sew this top closed and I'll show you how to fasten off next. Alright, I just sewed this closed all the way across here. You can't really even tell that that's a seam. It looks really clean. So now we just want to fasten this off and tie this end in. So what we're going to do is just go underneath a couple of stitches. Okay, right here. Okay, and I'm going to keep my thumb in this loop here and pull. Okay, then I'm going to come back through this loop. Okay, just like this. And then I'm going to pull it tight. Okay, and that should be secure. If you want to do that once or twice, you can. And then what we're going to do is just go into the inside of this thing and just kind of squish it, pull this through to the other side, and then stretch out your corners. Make sure everything looks square and nice. It's like a little pillow. Awesome. And then we're going to cut this short. And it's on the inside, so nobody will even see that. So now I'm going to set this aside and grab some green yarn. We're going to make the tie that goes around this. So we'll make this long ribbon first, and then we'll make this bow. So let me set this aside, grab some green yarn. We're going to make a slip knot. I showed you how to do that earlier. So just make a slip knot just like that. Grab your hook, insert that, and pull tight. For the ribbon part, we are going to chain 17. So I'm not going to make you watch me chain 17. So do you know how to do that? Just yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3, and so on. So just chain 17, and I'll meet you up and we'll go on to the next step. Alright, I chained 17. It's just this really short chain. If you need to, what you can do is grab your square here and wrap this around the square and stretch it and make sure that they actually meet up at the top. Okay? So if it doesn't, or if you're having trouble or something, just make sure to chain enough to wrap around this like that. Okay? Then what we're going to do, I just want to make it a little bit thicker. So what we're going to do is do a row 1 where we're going to single crochet across. So we're going to actually single crochet in the second chain from the hook and across. So you saw me earlier turning my chain toward me and working in these back ridges here. That is exactly what I'm going to do. So count 1 and 2. The second chain here, I'm going to go in and then single crochet. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And all we're doing is just putting 1 single crochet into each chain. So there will be 16 stitches for me. It might be different for you if you had to chain more or less to wrap around that square. So I'm just going to single crochet across here, and then I'll meet you up at the end of this row. Alright, just finishing up this last stitch here. Now what we're going to do is fasten this piece off. So chain 1, cut your yarn a little bit longer for sewing, and then pull that all the way through and pull it tight. Okay, just like that. Now I'm not going to sew this onto the little gift box yet. I'm going to set this aside and we're going to make the bow, and then we'll attach everything. So let's grab some more green yarn. Make another slip knot, and this bow is super simple. We are going to chain 6, so you can just continue watching me. We'll make this real fast here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're just going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and across, exactly like how we made that longer ribbon, basically. So 1, here's 2, it should have 5 stitches here. 3, 4, and 5. Now this piece we don't have to fasten off with a long tail, we're just fastening it off. So chain 1, you can cut your yarn shorter for this one. Or just pull that all the way through that chain 1 there and pull it tight. Okay, so it doesn't look like a bow yet, but when we attach it to this little square here, it will look like a bow. So let's grab our yarn needle, and the piece that's supposed to be the bow, this little tiny piece here, we're going to take our yarn needle and sew in these ends real quick, just so that that's not, you know, hanging out or anything. So we're just going to take our yarn needle and just go underneath the stitches, kind of just weave it back and forth, and then pull. Okay, and stretch it out. Okay, and I'll do the other one before I cut my strands here. Let's yarn our needle with that other strand and sew that one in underneath these stitches as well. Okay, and then pull, and then stretch, and then cut these pieces really super short and stretch it out. Awesome. Now we are going to grab our little square here, set this on top, okay, and take this piece, and actually let's sew this together first. So we're going to take this piece, wrap it around, okay, let's yarn our needle with the longer strand, okay, and then bring this up, stretch it if you need to. Let's go into this piece here just once. Then, if you're able, let's slide this underneath, okay, and then pull everything. And when you pull this, this little bow is going to cinch as well in the center. Okay, and then we just come back through this piece and this piece back here. I know it's going to be a little, you know, finicky and a little difficult to work with at first, but once you get the hang of it, you can position it how you need to. I'm just doing it a little bit faster for the camera, but you can take your time with it, you know, have fun with it. Place your bow in there. And then once you have this the longer strand all sewn up and everything, what you want to do is kind of just sew on or sew through the bow itself. So you can see I'm going into the bow now and then through the back, just to secure the bow in there as well. Okay, and then see it's kind of like off center. You can see it's more over on this side. You just want to slide this over, and then we're going to pin it. Well, not pin it, but we're going to sew it to this piece. So you can take your time with it, position it where you need it to be, and sew it on. And then when you're ready to fasten this off here, let's first pin this down here. So I'm going to go down the back, and you can see I'm going into the red piece and then out the green piece. Okay, that way that's just pinned there down and it's stuck now and it looks good. Okay, and we'll get rid of this strand here in a minute. I'm going to come actually back up through the back, up through the middle, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to just tie this off. So you want to go to the back here, around a few stitches, and like I showed you earlier, just keeping your finger in this loop and then coming back through this loop and then pulling tight. And then you can just shove this inside of the amigurumi piece and hide it, and do the same thing with this other strand as well. Just yarn your needle with that. I gotta get a bigger needle. And then just shove it into the inside, out the back. And then if you have an actual ribbon, you can tie that to this piece or an extra piece of yarn and then hang it on your tree. And I'll show you how to do that. Let's just position this how we want it. Oh, it's so cute. Awesome. That was so quick and easy. Okay, now let's just one last thing. Grab some extra yarn of a different color or of the same colors, whichever. Totally up to you. Grab your yarn needle. Okay, we're going to go underneath here, right in the middle. There we go. Okay, take your two ends. See how long you want this. If you just want it to be like a simple or shorter one, I'll probably tie my knot here. To tie your knot, we're going to wrap it just like this, and then go to the back of your work and through that loop. Kind of like how we make slip knots, but we're going to pull all the way. And then you can slide this down, however long you want this to be, about right there is good. And then cut this a tad shorter, pull it tight, make sure that's secure. And then what I'm actually going to do is hide this knot on the inside of my work. So I'm just going to take my crochet hook and grab that from the outside and pull that into the inside of the work, and then we're going to hide that knot that we made on the inside. There we go. So this is the back, this is the front, and there's your cute little gift box ornament. How cute is that? You can attach this to the top of a gift at Christmas time. Anybody would love to receive an ornament for their tree, and they'll always remember you when they hang it on their tree. Or you can make a bunch of these and put it on your own tree or give it as a gift to somebody else. So thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this cute little gift box amigurumi ornament. That was a lot of fun. It was quick and easy. Make sure to check out my other ornaments coming up, and we'll see you next time. Happy hooking!